All right, welcome to Life Extension Live. Just like we said earlier today, we would be back at 3 p.m. and we're at FNCE 2022. I almost said 2020. I'm gonna introduce you to Lauren here in a sec, but my dates are messed up.
Yeah. Are.
So this is the Food and Nutrition Conference and Expo. It's the world's largest meeting of food and nutrition experts, right?
It is.
That's pretty good. It's sponsored by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. And on today's show, I have a very, very special guest, Lauren Manaker. Hi.
Hi.
She's a award-winning registered dietitian, book author, and there's about 18 other sentences here that describe everything she's done. So I'm going to go ahead and say, first of all, Lauren, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And I want to know, listen, you're obviously very smart, very bright.
Thank you.
At some point, there was a time in your life you said, I'm going down the nutrition route to help people.
Yep.
Wait, tell us a little bit about that.
You know, it was just a light bulb moment where I realized everyone has to eat, right? And we all have the power to make choices of what goes into our body. And it's very empowering to recognize that people can make choices to support their overall health. And I wanted to help people on that journey and guide them with accurate information.
I love it. Awesome. And now, who would have known you're sitting here at Life Extension Live with Dr. Mike, and you're wondering who this guy is. Why is he screaming at me? But well, you know what? You know what that scream is? I'm a little stressed.
As all of us are.
I'm a little stressed. Yeah. Dr. Crystal, a little stressed, right? Robson's always, yeah. We're at our booth and we have a bunch of people working. It's great to see a lot of RDs coming up and stuff. But I was being funny there. Sure. I don't know about you. When it comes to stress and overall feelings of anxiety, even depression, whatever that is, whatever mix of feelings that is for people.
Yeah.
I know at Life Extension, I know in the clinical world and in the MD world, we're seeing more and more people calling in, complaining, coming into their doctor's offices, just wiped out with all this. What is your experience as an RD? Are you seeing kind of the same thing?
I am seeing so many people experiencing stress. And what people aren't realizing is stress isn't just stress. That it's not just a feeling that people don't like. It can affect their entire body and it can affect their health and it can affect food choices. It can affect how you sleep. So people are surprised as a dietitian that I try to tackle their stress too and help them find ways to manage it.
That makes perfect sense, right? And we're going to talk a little bit more about at the end of all this. We're going to focus on something called adaptogens, right? But at the end of all of it, we already know that it takes more than just one thing, right?
Yes.
To help mitigate stress in our lives. Now let's get something clear for the audience. Stress is good at some point, right?
Yes.
You have to have some stress.
It's a natural response.
There's a natural stress response. If you're driving your car and the car in front of you slams on their brake, you react to that, right?
Yes.
A bunch of chemicals kick in, right?
It would not be normal to be chill.
Right. It would not be normal to be. So you slam on your brakes and then you're lucky you just missed them and you take a big breath and then things calm down.
Yes.
Now how fast things person to person, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately that's the normal stress response. That's not what we're talking about.
Right.
It's almost like we're always just about to get into an accident today.
On edge.
We're just like, that's how it feels, right?
Absolutely.
And I think this goes, Lauren, it goes beyond the pandemic. I don't want to get into, I think the pandemic definitely didn't help.
No, certainly did not.
But I think we were seeing this high stress level even before that, right?
I do. I think our lifestyles are just busy. We're cramming so many things in. We're being attacked with information everywhere. We live very stressful lives.
24-hour news cycle.
Yeah.
And most of it's not good.
You're right. You're right.
It's not. Chris was laughing at me. Right? It's like you turn on the news after about 5 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, the world's going to end.
Yeah, they're not showing like cute bunnies bouncing on the screen.
No, it's way worse than that. So, so the whole way we live our lives is definitely playing a role into this. And so, I wanted to have you come on because I want to talk with you about a class of herbs.
Yeah.
Or they could be mushrooms. There are some root plants that are called adaptogens. Have you heard that before?
I have heard of them, and I see them quite a bit these days.
Yeah, because everybody's stressed out. They're looking for they're looking for solutions.
Makes
right?
sense.
Yeah.
Right?
So adaptogens, I really like them in clinical medicine, because they help the body. Well, here's the basic definition: they help the body adapt to stress. They help you adapt to stress.
Yeah.
But what's really cool about them, some people when they're stressed can be a little low.
Yeah.
Well, adaptogens can help bring you up.
Mm-hmm.
Some people who are stressed out are a little, right?
Or a lot.
Yeah. And adaptogens help to bring that down a little bit, right? So that's what's really cool. It's like they know you.
Yeah.
These mushrooms, these herbs, they know Lauren. They know what you need, and that's
really incredible.
That's why we like to use adaptogens in stressful situations for people.
I mean, I love the name adaptogens. It has the word adapt in it. They adapt to what you need.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
So a lot of people, I know we were talking before, kind of reviewing stuff. You were wondering about medicines and
so we understand now how adaptogens work. I'm seeing a lot of people taking prescription anti-anxiety medication.
Right. Yeah.
So how do adaptogens differ from an anti-anxiety medication, and is there any benefit to maybe taking both at the same time?
Great question. So the anti-anxiety medications are working more on the neurotransmitters, neurohormones that control mood, right? And they're powerful.
Yes.
Right. I mean, you take these things, they do work.
Yes.
They may have a lot of side effects, but they do work for anxiety. So a lot of people are on those. Adaptogens don't work that way.
Okay.
Adaptogens are working with the stress hormone cortisol, and they're specifically working with cortisol at the receptor level, the cell level. They're not really changing cortisol dramatically, although people who take adaptogens, you can see cortisol come down a little bit.
Very cool.
But ultimately, it's like the adaptogens are helping at the cell level your body simply to respond more appropriately to the stress hormone and to stress itself. So can you take them both at the same time? I'm no one's doctor. I don't practice clinical medicine anymore. I'm not your doctor. I'm not your doctor out there.
Yeah.
But sure, because that's what integrative medicine is.
Mm-hmm.
You might, start with the prescription drug, but the goal would be ultimately to bring that prescription drug down, the dose, and increase the adaptogen. So eventually, we're controlling your stress response solely with something like ashwagandha.
Sure.
One of the adaptogens.
So it sounds like something that people can discuss with their healthcare provider.
Oh, absolutely.
As a potential solution.
Absolutely. Now, not every doctor practices integrative medicine, right? That's what I practice. It's integrative medicine is simply integrating whatever is going to work best for someone.
Love it.
That's how I say it. But not everybody believes that. So you can call, if you have a physician that doesn't believe in supplements or anything like that, you can call Life Extension or go to lifeextension.com, and we can hook you up with a practitioner that kind of follows our philosophy.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
You were wondering too, so adaptogens help us adapt, right? We feel a little bit better. But you were asking something about?
I wanted to know, when we were speaking before, I was curious if there's anything else people can expect other than feeling basically less stressed. Are there other things people can expect to notice?
Yeah. So one thing is weight loss.
Okay.
Now, the question becomes, is the adaptogen directly causing weight loss, or are you feeling better, eating better?
Yeah.
And that's leading to some of the weight loss.
Are you calming down and then making better food choices?
Hormonal control, better sleep. These are all things that you can expect from adaptogens.
Okay.
Right? Now, let's move in to adaptogens. Look at Dr. Crystal on that. You guys can't see her. She's rocking this camera. She's doing it. We got a shot on our booth right now. You can see everybody working. It looks really cool. Thank you for that, Dr. Crystal. as they drop the coffee. Let's move into the types of adaptogens. Okay.
Yeah.
I have 3 favorite ones. My favorite is ashwagandha.
Okay, no surprise there.
Yep. I like American ginseng
Okay.
and rhodiola.
Okay.
Common adaptogens you can find in most stores.
Okay. So do you prefer that people take all three, or do they stick to
Oh.
one that's on your list and then move on to another one?
Another great question. I think you start with one.
Okay.
The best bet is to always go low and slow.
Love it.
I would start with what I think is the better one. Ashwagandha has several human clinical trials showing a benefit in reducing stress.
Okay.
So I would start there, right? And maybe even start on a lower dose than what's recommended. See how it's going to affect you, right?
Yeah.
If you feel good, maybe bump it up a little bit. See if you feel a little bit better. If you're not getting the result you want, that's when I would add number 2,
Okay.
American ginseng. And then I reserve rhodiola for the last slot.
Okay. Okay. So people shouldn't start with that cocktail of all three at high doses.
No, one at a time.
Okay.
One at a time.
That makes sense.
And then other things too that ashwagandha has been shown helps to keep hormones balanced nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And it also may play a role in fertility.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot
Especially
more
for male
research is
fertility.
needed in that. Robson's going to hand me some water. This is a
Thank
very, very busy, lots of talking conference.
So
All right.
with the question of in certain areas like fertility, there's some data, but not a ton of data. Is there any downside to trying it? Or is it one of those it may help, but it's not going to hurt anything?
Well, okay. So there's the safety profile is awesome.
Okay.
So I'm not worried about that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Will we ever, listen, science, especially clinical science, is always evolving.
Sure.
Right. I mean, you could question even some of the medications people take. Right.
100%.
I think they need more research as well. So even though we need more research, I would always say that.
Okay.
But the current research we have, especially with ashwagandha profile, so I'm really not. I feel you could go for it.
Okay.
I mean, it is a supplement, right? But of course, talk to your doctor.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
That's always a good thing to do.
But it sounds like it's a pretty low risk, natural
Yes,
solution.
yes, absolutely. So when we look at all this put together, we're stressed out.
Yes.
Are you?
We are.
Are you? So when you're stressed, are you low or high?
I'm high.
I'm high too.
I'm like flying. Yes. That's me in a nutshell.
Right. That's how you dance too, by the way.
It is.
Yeah, I've seen her dance. And so we have this chronic stress.
Yep.
Just it's excessive for people today,
Yeah.
right? Lots of people looking for ways to mitigate it. We just talked about the supplement way, kind of like the way I would handle it as a clinician. But I had you ultimately come on, Lauren, to bring it home for us.
Yeah.
Like, how would you do this, knowing that we have the adaptogens? What do you want to say to the audience?
The adaptogens can be one great piece of the puzzle, but it's not a one-piece puzzle.
Right.
There's so many things that play into our stress management, and our stress can really affect so many factors of our life that we don't even realize it's playing a role in. So along with considering the adaptogens, prioritizing your sleep, finding ways to just bring your stress level down, even if it's trying out a yoga class online or doing the breathing exercises.
I like to play golf.
Play golf. Go for a walk. Do whatever you have to do. And then your diet can have a huge impact on your mental health. Eating
Absolutely.
more seafood, eating more fruits and vegetables. So if you take ashwagandha and then you're, eating fast food and sleeping 4 hours a night, is it going to help?
Yeah, right. Give it a chance.
Right. It's
Right,
support. Set it up for success.
Right.
So we really have to look at the big picture and the whole lifestyle. So these adaptogens can be a great part of the big picture.
I knew you were going to nail it.
Got it.
Was that is that it?
I nailed
it. Lauren, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for
do you
having
have
me.
like a website or something you want to share with the audience?
I have Instagram. I'm on Lauren Loves Nutrition. Focus mostly on fertility, prenatal, postpartum health. Happy to have y'all join me there too. Nice.
Hey, I want to thank everybody for joining us, Life Extension Live. If you want to learn more about adaptogens, go check out lifeextension.com/adaptogens. And there's a nice article on there for you. So again, thank you for joining. I'm Dr. Mike. Take care.